Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad to hear this Thursday morning. Got all kind of exciting things going on this week, and got a special guest here. So let's get started with our weather, brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning. Drew Pollard and his crew over here in Southport taking care of our needs with our air conditioning and our systems, get them clean and all. Let's take a look at our temperature. High 71, low 55, water temperature at the end of the pier, 70.5. Now the river reading brought to us by Mountain Dew. On the outdoors with Mountain Dew. The Apalachicola at Bluntstown is going down about a 12.2. Got a little bit of drop in it, and the Choctahatchee got a little bit of drop, but it's still in double digits, 11.3. And we're looking at a situation where we're going to a little bit of drop. We've got high water this weekend. You're going to be fishing on this river system. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. We're looking at a high tide right here at 11 o'clock. It's going to start going out to about 9:36. It'll be the low tide tonight. And the wind direction, again, double digits, south-southeast at 14. So it's, I'm sorry. I read that was yesterday's. Today, it's coming out of the west. It swung around, and they do that, you know. It swings around to, it's going to be coming out of west at about 11, but still double digits, okay? Let's take a break. We'll be right back with our guest. Welcome back, and one of our familiar guests is coming to get back on routine and coming back on.
Yeah, Cole? How's it going?
All right, buddy. Well, guess what? We've been talking about fishing and boats. How'd y'all guess? We got some good fishing pictures to show you later on, some really cool pictures. But let's talk about boats first, and get down to our level, because you're talking about electrical situations, and we all, I don't care what size boat you have, if you got a battery, you can have some problems. So what? And you firsthand account, you see them.
Yeah, one that I became aware of here recently was a gentleman, 21-foot boat, center console, and he had some electrical wiring that he had disconnected. It was not in use anymore, and I can't strongly enough recommend when you have wiring that's not in use. I know sometimes you might think, hey, I may use that in the future for something. I'm gonna leave it in the boat. The best thing you can do is remove it. If not, at least terminate the ends in some manner with your wrap electrical tape or something that will give it some level of safety, because this fella here, he had disconnected it. He did not know when he took his boat in for service, he had some electrical things added to the boat, some electronics and stuff, and errantly the mechanic reconnected those wires to the bus bar, but they did not have an inline fuse. And so these actually led up to his anchor locker, and it sit there, and he got in a rough chop coming back, and they started arcing on the anchor in the anchor locker, and they actually heated the anchor up so much that they set the gel coat on fire inside of that.
Are you serious?
Yep. And it started a fire inside the boat. They couldn't see where exactly the fire was going, where it was coming from, because as it arced, every time it heated up, it would burn more and more insulation off. And that ran further and further back in the boat until it finally got a hold of some stuff it could actually burn. And it set the inside of the boat on fire. And he was offshore. He had to run to come back in with this. He said he could feel the floor was hot.
Oh, my goodness.
And his gas tank's down there.
Oh, my goodness.
But he's got nowhere to go. He's just got to get home. So he just showered down. And fortunately, they made it back to the dock, tied off. They put water hoses in the hull and just started flooding the hull, trying to keep the tank from blowing up. But it was just such a simple thing. Had he safetied those wires off properly, tagged them out what they were for, so that anyone who came behind him say, oh, okay, this is not supposed to be reconnected, he could have saved himself a lot of trouble. He didn't burn his boat up, but he could have. Wow. And had they been any further out, the real chance of it burning up and even an explosion, them being in the water for a while, was really real.
That's amazing.
So we take that for granted every day, you know.
We started burning.
A lot of guys, you know, they'll take even smaller boats, they'll run them out the pass and run them, you know, several miles offshore to fish. Yeah. But when you're out there, there is no backup plan. And something just that simple that we've probably all done sometime or another, you know. you know,
Yeah, especially
it causes
with
such a
an
big
older
problem.
boat, you just have a wire over here and wire over there, and you know it's not connected, so I'm not worried about it. So we've all been guilty of that. You're right.
So at the minimum, we need to at least safety that wire off, but tag it so you know what it is and anyone else. And all that can be, it can be as simple as a piece of flat masking tape, magic marker, do not connect. But the best thing you can do is just go ahead and take it out. You can always run more wire in there. If you don't know for a fact you're putting something back in there and using that wire, it's the safest thing to do. Just remove it.
Okay, that's a good situation there to be aware of. And that's a regular sized boat, 21 footer.
Yep.
I mean, a lot of people have 21
We're very
footers.
common too.
Yeah, very
here.
common, 21 footer and all. What size boat what kind of boat do you have? I'm going to ask you that other
I've
day.
got an 18-foot Gator Tough G3
Okay.
tunnel hull.
Yeah.
Now I like the tunnel hull because I do a lot of freshwater fishing. It'll run with the motor completely down in 8 inches of water, and it'll run fast in 8 inches of water. But especially in the bay, when you get over there, I don't know the name of all them little sounds, little areas, but the backside of the island, there's several places where it's very shallow. And we do a lot of speck fishing there, and I can't tell you how many times I've been over there, realized all of a sudden, you know, we're in a few inches of water and was able to hit it and get out of there. And but it's just handy for that type of thing. Now,
What size motor?
it's got a 90 horse Yamaha
90
on it.
horse.
And that, of course, we've talked about this before, but of course, we bought that from one of the sponsors here, Bubba at Hart's Marine.
Yeah.
And I've bought a lot of boats from Bubba.
Yeah.
So it's really been a good boat, good fit for me. I'm at a point right now where I'm wanting to step up to something a little more
We
base
can
solid.
never be satisfied with our boat. I mean,
Well, I do love my boat. I mean,
know.
but in a chop, it's where it kind of, and because of my boat, it's a dual purpose. You know, I have to work off of it too. Like when we have something like here a while back, where we had the barges that ran aground out there on the jetties.
Yes.
Sometimes we have to oversee the recovery.
You had to go out there in your boat?
No, I didn't have to on that one, but we could have.
Yeah.
And there's other chances, other times that this happened that we have. So just having something a little bigger, a little higher walled, you know, a little more stable in a rough chop, a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
And it's fun, like 21, 22 foot is probably what I'm going to be looking at. But
Yeah.
I've looked at several different variants. I just can't make up my mind to pull the trigger. But because we do go out there and do that, you know, it works double for me.
I'm at a point where I have a bay boat, and now I've just got just a boat for the river. I can't get that perfect boat, so I just said, well, why not? We just get two boats. But my river boat is a good used boat now. I couldn't afford a new one, but it's a good boat.
Oh, new ones will scare you to death. But
I know. 'Cause I bought it in a truck.
yep.
That's scary. Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break. We've got all kinds of pictures and all to show you, so we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. So here we're Daniel Cole talking about boats and fishing. That's two good subjects right there. I have a couple of pictures I want to share with you that have been sent to us with our viewers and all. And you know some of these people in here, especially this first one, because this is Mandy Miller Warren.
Yeah.
And Mandy, this was at her house. And you saw the picture. You've seen this picture. I want y'all to call Miller Marine today and ask Mandy if she's starting a snake catching business to come to the yard to get it. But Mandy's quite an outdoor lady, and I was talking to her the other day. And, she loves over there where they live and all. She's got a good situation there. Now, I got a couple of other pictures too sent to us. There's Dale Finley. Remember Monday afternoon how pretty that weather was, and you were working.
Yeah.
And I was tied up. Jeff was working, and but some folks went fishing.
Must be nice.
After work now, Dale Finley went and caught this 7.5 pound or 7.29 pound bass. Now that's pretty strong right there. You know, we talk about going squeezing in anytime you can to get in there and do it. So good job, Dale Finley. And then let's go from freshwater to saltwater. We haven't talked a lot about the cobia. We really haven't talked about it. We've been talking about Spanish, pompano, and what's the next thing we talk about? Cobia and then kings. Well, folks, here it is. They're catching cobia, and this is just Jeremy Lindsay. Matt Mandeville sent this in, and Jeremy, Scott Lindsay's son, and he might be a better fisherman than his daddy. I don't know. He's a pretty good fisherman, but he takes it serious, and he caught him off the pier. That's it. Good job there. And then I want to show this set of pictures here. I got a little set of pictures. If you ever go in the Blue Water Outriggers, I can't get out of there without just talking about 30 minutes. But they're just good guys and they love talking
They
about
are.
fishing.
Really
You go
enjoy
in there
that place, yeah.
and just start talking, and then sharing this and look at my picture here, look at my picture, and it's a good place. Just it reminds me of the old time the guys used to sit on the front porch at old country stores and all, and just sit around and talk.
Yep.
That's how I feel when I go in there. We got to talk about this.
Yep.
Important stuff.
That's right.
But this is Terry in Blue Water. Terry, he was a retired naval officer, and I've got a series of pictures I'm going to send you. This was in 1967. His wife pinning his naval aviator's wings on. That's a big deal.
It is.
Yeah, and so here he is, the second picture here. Redfish caught at your favorite place on St. George Island. You caught a couple redfish over there behind.
Oh yeah, I sure have.
The third picture, all these fish were caught in the same spot on Sandy Creek. Pretty cool. That's just a mixed bag. Really good stuff. All right, so he's been at St. George Island, Sandy Creek. All right, the flounder. Where did he catch the flounder? St. Joe Bay. Are we in a sportsman paradise?
I'd say so.
Flounder in Port St. Joe, and then the trout. The next picture, the trout from St. Joe Bay, and then he's good enough to he's sharing what he's caught them with, and right here, this is a Z-Man Creole croaker, the same exact bait caught all those fish. Now we'll talk about that. We'll try to get specialized bait for this and that. And Terry, he's just a good fisherman. And then finally, Ladyfish got it, but Z-Man, that's what he fished with. So Terry, thank you so much for those pictures and all. I know that's some fun trips.
We'll leave it to the ladyfish to cut the fun off.
That's what I'm saying. He finally lost his ladyfish. I've always thought about I'd get tickled sometimes. They'd aggravate me. I said, "You ain't no lady. You're mean."
That's right.
I think other names.
I remember last year as Spanish mackerel was finishing up,
Yeah.
all of a sudden I was trolling, my rod hit like that, and I was using one of those Christmas tree rigs.
Yeah.
I had 5 of them things on there, and I was hoping it would break the line just to get rid of them, but it wouldn't. I pulled up, I cut them all off and threw them back in the water.
They're aggravated by
they
now.
are.
Try to get us. I know. I say this is the same as Commerce talking because they want us to call it a poor man's tarpon because they do jump and swell up like that a little bit.
Are you aware of anybody who knows who could cook those or make anything out of them?
I do not.
I do not neither.
Now, you're a cook, so if you can't do it.
No, I couldn't do anything with that. Now I do know of some ladies who, and they're Asian ladies. They can make some really good stuff out of some really odd fish. But I'm just curious because I've never heard of anyone trying to even fool with a ladyfish.
I know. It's just the shape of them, the bones, and
Just bones and
and the whole thing. I know they serve a purpose. I ain't quite figured out what it is.
cut bait.
They help the tackle stores because they steal everybody's bait. They're cutting it off, and so you go to tackle stores. I guess.
There you go. Yep, that's it.
That's what they're talking about and all. Have you done much fishing lately, or you just been working a lot?
I've been working a lot. I got a couple chances to go Spanish mackerel fishing, and I did really well with my little girl one, which I left you a picture you could put up later.
Okay.
But and then I went the other day, and I couldn't believe it. It was so busy. It was like a weekend. There were so many people out there.
On a weekday?
And, oh yeah, I think it was a Monday. And pontoon boats, and you're trying to troll and run your rigs, and these tourists don't know what you're doing, so they just come right behind you. And I was very fortunate not to lose anything, but and then I turned and I was coming back, and I had like 4 of them just bearing down on me, and it's like they acted like they were aggravated. I was moving so slow. I really think they don't have any idea what I was doing.
Yep.
But it was.
I want
you got to share the water with everybody, so
We're going to take a break, but we want to talk about. I was going to talk about that later on a later show, but I want to talk about it with you because you're a boat expert and all about these pontoon boats and all, because we're facing some problems ahead, I'm afraid. So let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Today we're Daniel Cole, like I said earlier, talking about boats and fishing and our fishing future, what it holds. So let's look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe's. 2:03 to 4:03 this morning, and 2:26, 4:26 this afternoon. Run by and see Bobby or Daniel or Terry, any of these folks. They'll tell you what's going on. They'll tell you where they're biting. They'll tell you what they're biting on and when they're biting. Okay, but you just got to go. And and they also have some of my books down there I saw the other day. Good deal.
Yep.
Good deal. Okay, one of the things that we're talking about real quick, we got these. Let's do your stuff first, the pictures and all. Let's talk about this mount. Tell them about this mount right here.
Well, this is a deer my buddy killed 2 years ago, and of course it took about a year for that mount to be put together, and it was just an exquisite job. I mean,
Wow,
when you look at how well it's made, the only other mounts I've seen like that are some of the ones I've seen, Ronnie Groom have made up that are there at CNG. But as far as originality and everything, this is a beautiful mount. This is my friend Max Griffin in Bluntstown, or actually he lives in Clarksville, and it was a great deer that was a Florida deer.
That was a Florida deer?
Right out of Calhoun County.
Oh my goodness.
So, yep, and so I'm very proud of him. We've been best friends for years, and, but he always, really in the last few years, I've seen him really come into his own as far as, his hunting ability and what he's been able to do, and I've learned a lot from him. So
yeah, he knows his guns, don't he?
Yeah, he does.
What does he like to shoot with? What does he like to deer hunt with?
Max is pretty much dedicated to the 6.5 Grendel.
Okay.
It's an excellent round for deer hunting, and it gives you a lot of distance, a lot of longevity, and it's a fairly flat shooting cartridge. Right. And I've shot them as well over time. I trade calibers and trade things. Always looking for the next new best thing.
Yeah. Does he do his own reloads and all?
Yes, he sure does.
That's cool. That's a man right there who loves his guns and all, do that kind of stuff. Okay, we're talking about boats and all, and pontoon boats. Let's get back to boats. So we're talking about the Spanish mackerel. We got that right. Are you going Spanish mackerel fishing anymore? Or?
I don't know how much longer they'll be really doing anything, but if I get a chance to, I will. Yeah. I enjoy that.
It's fun, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
But I am really ready to get into some speck and redfish fishing on the flats. Yeah. That's my favorite.
And like I said, that tournament, if those guys can catch those redfish in tornadoes and 60 miles per hour wind, we won't be able to catch a fish on a pretty day, a good redfish.
You got that right.
You just got to go to the right place at the right time with the right bait. It's simple,
right.
ain't it?
Yep.
Let's talk real quick. I want to talk about pontoon boats. I was going to do a little bit of story on them, but boats and all. The people love pontoon boats because you can get your family on there, and it's stable and all. So the idea is really good. So we get these people coming down from Georgia and Alabama, good folks coming down and just wanting to enjoy the water. So I'm really talking about St. Joe Bay, what's going to happen there, because we already got it. We already have it happening here. And we get that motel down there at Presnell. It's going to be bringing a lot of people, and these folks are going to come down. They're going to rent these boats, which but they're probably not going to know where the grass beds are.
Right.
So what's going to happen?
You're going to see them running the ground and tearing up the grass beds.
It's as simple as that. So I know, I'm assuming FWC is aware about marking off some of these areas and all, but it's really up to whoever's renting these pontoon boats to educate the people, to tell them to stay in the channel and get on anchor off on the edge of the grass bed and not run across the grass beds.
Here we see a lot of that. When you go fishing, you can't help but when you get in the shallower parts to see the scars where people have got in there too shallow. And I tell you one that tricks a lot of people, for some reason, find their way into that little channel over there behind the island where the Captain Anderson boat comes in, but they don't realize there's a long precipice of flats out there and they'll try and drive across and they get hung up.
Is that marked? I've been over a while. Or marks, or they have channel markers?
The channel's marked, but that just looks like open water. And
yeah.
I can't tell how many people I've seen just take off out of the channel and get run up on their hard ground and just be stuck. So.
And we've got to do our part, just telling Cousin Joe and Aunt May or whatever, whoever's coming down from Georgia, to tell them, because Cito and those guys make a lot of money pulling those people off the
They sure do. They sure do.
And I hate to see it. And that's just the pontoon boats and just the people. And then some of them bring their own boats. But I know I've got some friends coming down, but they know. They're fishermen and they know what to do. But other folks don't. I know you've seen it too.
Well, there's a lot of dangers inherent to that activity. I mean, even here, you think about how narrow Deepwater Point is right there.
Yeah.
And you have all the big charter boats. You have larger, commercial boats. You have all that going on. I don't know why that little spit of area there. You come through there, you're going to have people in kayaks in that area.
Crazy, isn't it?
You know, and you're going to have other crazy stuff like that. That just, you know, with all the water out there, that one little opening, you know, to Grand Lagoon there. That why is that why you have got to paddle your kayak? You know,
I know.
because there's areas everywhere there, and the pontoons all load up and they come through there, and they'll try to run through there abreast. But there's really not enough. That's really a one boat at a time opening. So
that's really a dangerous spot. Really,
it is.
Overall.
It is dangerous.
And the kayakers, these are not. I promise you, we know local kayakers are not going to go there.
Yeah.
And a lot of these are the rental kayaks, and again, they just out of pure ignorance and also.
I would just love to see a sign there or something. You know, I mean, like we have no wake sign, just something that says, you know, single usage at a time or something. Just something that people could understand. You know, this is a very narrow area. It's a very dangerous area, and just be courteous. That's all.
Yeah.
Common courtesy is not common anymore, but you know the days gone by of holding doors and doing for others. But everybody wants to be me first. It seems like, but that would do so much to encourage safety and help us all out.
And a lot of locals just don't go to that area now. We'll try to go to places like St. Joe Bay, right? But it's getting crowded too, and Crooked Island Sound, and that's always been a local place. But it's all staying busy now.
That's right. That's right. Okay. But we've got a beautiful area with lots of room. You know, I think that the best boating safety advice is just, you know, just treat others like you want to be treated.
Yeah.
You know, don't be disrespectful. Don't be me first. You know, everybody can enjoy it. There's plenty of time, and there's no reason to be in a huge hurry.
And the bigger thing, everybody wants to put a throttle down and go 120 miles an hour at times. You know, and I can slow down. I got buddies do that. Well, Daniel, buddy, that was a good show. Thank you for coming on. And next time you bring some more fish pictures.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do.
Okay, folks. We always appreciate the viewership. And you got a boating question or anything, you know, text me to get Daniel's number or whatever. Or just call Daniel and he'll answer your questions. Thank y'all for watching Panhandle Outdoors. We appreciate the viewership. Do something good today for your fellow man. You have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.